basically starting?
We are
essentially.
We're basically it.
basically happy boys.
No, that's never gonna come up.
What did we see?
We saw Jigsaw
Oh yeah.
Jigsaw.
as of like an hour ago.
And we're gonna basically break down Jigsaw for you.
The basic breakdown. No, just like a couple points that my brain went off in the movie and goes on little tangents. I don't think Carly deserved to fucking die. Like, that was the girl who got, like, stuck with all the needles and the acid, like, eroded her skin or whatever. Like, I get it. Like, what she did was bad, and the consequence for it was somebody, like, an innocent person dying, but she didn't, like, purposely kill them. She was committing a crime of theft, and in turn, something happened where the lady died, and she was too afraid to do anything.
The problem was, all she had to do was, like, this is the number that makes sense to my crime is the 3 point whatever for the $3.
She was not like mentally okay though.
Still,
And she was coming back with the inhaler. She was coming back. She
Yeah, she
saw
was.
the body. She's like, "Oh shit!" and she ran off.
Yeah, dude, like, as opposed to, like, the woman, I already forgot her name, who, like, suffocated the baby because she's like, oh, stop crying.
Amanda, please.
And framed her boyfriend that went into the fucking insane asylum.
That was a plot twist.
And then he hung himself.
Yeah, like, oh my god.
I thought, I know,
Spoilers.
like all Saw movies.
Spoiler
Yeah. By the way, spoiler alert.
If you haven't seen the movie, you shouldn't be watching this.
Yeah. I mean, I thought that was supposed to be because each Saw movie ends with like their twist or whatever. Like that's
the
just
end game.
yeah. So I thought that was supposed to be part of it. Or actually, I think the main part of it was that Jigsaw was still alive. I thought that was like they switched the dude switched the tags. He never had cancer to begin with. It was all a joke.
But he did.
But he did, and they did the old timeline switcheroo, which they did in like the second movie, which is kind of shitty because like they're reusing the same like.
Ooh, it wasn't
It's
happening
like you
real
thought.
time.
Yeah.
So when we were watching the movie in real time with actually Jigsaw there, that was back in the past.
That was
right?
10 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. So flash forward to present day, then it was those two. They were playing a completely new game.
Right. Well, technically, he said he recreated the whole thing.
Right. It
and
was
used
another game.
victims from the shitty detective guy.
The shitty detective.
I don't know who else to call him. Was
Oh,
he
yeah,
like
no.
Vaughn or something?
Yeah, it was something like that.
Okay, so they use like completely different bodies, and
exactly.
you know, since the autopsies didn't identify the bodies yet, so we didn't know that those were the victims of what we were seeing. That was technically 10 years ago.
True.
Yeah.
Like when that guy got stuck in the meat grinder thing, so we couldn't tell who that was.
Which, real talk, that guy got screwed too because, well, no pun intended. But
He's funny.
he thought he was safe. The thing stopped. He's like, oh, finally.
If only they didn't just like do this, then he would have like.
Like, could we be honest though? Like, we knew he was fucking dead. Like, as soon as like the thing stopped and he was relaxed, I'm like, technically that's tampering with the game. I wouldn't be surprised if Jigsaw just walked out and popped the guy in the face with a fucking magnum.
You're cheating. No cheating.
You weren't supposed to survive that.
Don't fuck with Jigsaw's nephew. There's no way that guy was gonna live. Like, once he was like, oh, Jigsaw's nephew died because of this guy, you're not winning this game.
Yeah.
No, like it's personal.
Yeah, right.
Like, did that come in at any other point in the series where Jigsaw's like relatives came in, or was that where they finally decided to bring it in? What is this, the 8th, 9th movie?
Not really. There was just some shenanigans, including his wife, which he divorced, or she divorced him.
Divorcing a serial killer, bad move.
Typically.
Oh, you didn't kill anyone. They killed themselves. All his traps are winnable.
He created the trap for him to go inside.
The end, where they're given the shotgun with the single bullet, I thought the meme was because they were talking about like being a good person and shit like that. Like the theme was like confessing and moving past everything. Like he's like, oh, there's one gun, one bullet, or whatever. Like it's simple. Like just it's up to you. Like I thought it was gonna be like, don't kill the other person. Literally just waste the shell in thin air.
Yeah, right. That's
Or
what I was
whatever,
thinking.
like purposely save the other person rather
But
than
even
taking
if you
another
did
life
that-
and tainting.
Or
So,
blast the door open.
Right, that's sort of like what I was thinking, but like, I mean, that's what I personally would have done is just like let the gun rest on that little mantle that it was on and like fire it at blank air.
yeah.
But then like, I wasn't expecting like the shell to have the key in it. And the key gets fucked up. I'm like, oh, there's your key, and then I see it's broken. I'm like, ooh.
He literally
Really,
grabs the shell, looks them in the eye, and says, "This is the key to your survival."
Ooh.
Like that was the joke. But yeah, he even said like it's really simple. The best games are simple, but like you overthink it, and you're like, he wants me to kill this person. No, literally, this bullet is the key to your
Yeah.
survival. What a crazy guy that Tobin Bell. So many shenanigans.
Mastermind.
I knew the scars on the cop's back when they showed him taking off his shirt were like important. Like that was supposed to be like, ooh,
Right.
you know, like
Right.
they wouldn't have. He wouldn't have had fucking scars if they didn't matter.
Right, but like
Right.
since I didn't see any of the past movies, I was wondering if like did this guy star in one of the last movies? Was he somebody in a trap? Am I supposed to know this guy?
Clayton made a mention like mid movie to my waifu Eleanor,
Like, is that
who is
Amanda?
who is that Amanda who was one of the Jigsaw
Yeah, she helped them out.
people. Yeah.
But I thought she died too. Like,
She definitely did die, but if Jigsaw was maybe alive, maybe fucking Amanda's still alive. Who knows? Maybe that took place 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe this movie never even fucking happened.
like secretly hoping that Jigsaw is still alive, but like still appreciating that this movie didn't go the supernatural route with anything.
It didn't have to.
I know,
I'm
that's
sure
it.
there's some way with their fucking like they just probably sit around and get like really high, and then they're like, we gotta come up with like the most fucked up twist ever. And they just ran out of ideas because it's like the 8th or 9th film.
Yeah.
And they're just like, fuck, I don't know how to make a twist. Let's just copy one of the twists from the previous
Right.
videos and
That's
call
what
it a day.
a lot of movies they're doing. Star Wars.
So what if instead of chains on their head, we just put buckets?
Like chum buckets.
Yeah, that could make the new movie.
It was a cool idea, and I liked the way that it was like it was all one continuous trap. I kind of wish the chains like
Right.
continued to move them, like they progressed
the
with.
Yeah,
the
like it's
years.
all one straightaway through every like test they have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That
That's
was
what I thought it was gonna be when they were still attached in the second room. Like, oh, we're doing this.
That guy was such a pussy. Like,
Which one?
granted, I wouldn't want my leg to get
Specify.
fucking
Oh.
cut. The
Oh,
dude who
right.
got his leg trapped
Yeah.
or whatever.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Kept going.
It was
Like,
really, and I
Of course,
even
it's just gonna be your leg that goes. What do you think? There's gonna be a fucking like gun that's just like. Ooh,
That's sort of what I'm like,
pull the
okay,
handle
it's,
and it blows your fucking brains out. Like,
it's either gonna cut his leg off or it's just gonna have a shotgun come out of nowhere and be like, oh, here's your freedom.
I think he was afraid. Like he's like, freedom. What does that mean?
Yeah.
And
I even-
then your leg's gonna get cut off because
Yeah.
you were cheating.
I even leaned over to Dylan and I was like, just grab the lever. Why doesn't you just grab the lever? It's not that hard. We wasted like 5 minutes.
Especially if like I feel like with how whatever was tied the string or wire.
It looked like cable.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was like,
right.
fuck.
It was like
Razor.
cutting into his leg the
Right.
whole time. I'm sure his leg by that point was like fucking numb and like the circulation was cut off.
Right.
Just fucking pull it and cut the leg off. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
One
I agree.
last comment on that is, like, it's much better below the knee than like above the knee. So like you're fucking fine, especially if you're talking about saving 2 lives. It's like, ooh, do you want to save like 1/4 of your leg, if that, or 2 people's lives?
I'd say it was a good third.
Because you literally put a peg. You
Yeah.
can still use your.
I think
Knee.
sliced in like 4 pieces.
Oh, yeah, still like this is all gone,
Mm-hmm.
but just you can have a peg. it still worked just
Oh,
fine.
heck.
You had your knee, you could rotate everything.
I mean, I think prosthetics and robotics have come a very long way.
Yeah, I'm just
To the
saying.
point
You'd
in
be
which
fine.
you would be okay in
Even
this
if
day and age.
So with prosthetics.
You could be a cyborg.
Okay, so like him included, all of those bodies were just like nobody made it out of that entire game. Then,
Probably not.
like,
Yeah, I guess there's
Besides
no.
since
dude,
like it's
it was
like,
like-
oh, the bodies were never found. I'm like, well, what happened to that guy? Did he just not come out since the key was destroyed?
Nobody knew the location of the farm, right? Besides the
Oh, they.
hot lady and
Yeah.
She at the end, yeah, she flagged them down.
I don't really know how she managed to do that, but
But
it
I'm
was
not-
kind of like, I know where the barn is. Okay.
Right. Because I think they called for backup, right? And then the other detectives were coming to help. Something
Because
like
they
that.
realized like whatever that I don't know what he was, like head detective or whatever. They realized, oh shit, this guy's supposedly involved with the Jigsaw stuff,
Yeah.
but he wasn't.
I thought that was dope
It's
with
just-
like that tray where they take the bullet out of the guy, he puts it in the tray, and then he picks up a bullet that he put there ahead of time. So like, cause he shot the dude with a sniper rifle,
Mhm.
so he and takes out
Yeah.
one the same size as that other dude's hand.
Which I call bullshit because I don't think you'd be able to hide that bullet in there.
Yeah.
But you gotta make the story happen somehow.
I thought the lead detective who was at fault and died at the end, I thought it was going to be similar to the first movie where like the main killer or the main framed bad guy was like straight up just playing Jigsaw's game. Like I thought
Yeah.
that detective, like it was going to come across like he was being played, like being told to like, okay, kill this guy or your fucking family dies or
Yeah.
something.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
But no,
but no, he's just a fucking
they
asshole.
could have. Maybe they should have.
The dude in the beginning
Mhm.
who wouldn't wake the fuck up.
No, it was actually
No,
that
because
guy.
it was 10 years ago. So it was the dude
Oh yeah, it was like
who
the
gets saved by Jigsaw and comes back as like,
Yeah.
I speak for the
Yeah.
dead.
They didn't. End movie. No, they didn't specify why he didn't wake up, but yeah.
We never actually like figure out like, so the dude who actually dies in the game in the present like has like half his fucking head cut
Yeah.
off. Like I don't know. I guess it just never explains
I-
quite
like,
how
if
that
it-
I was
happens.
wondering that too. How come half his head, and maybe I'm just dumb.
And
but-
it was a full bucket head.
yeah,
Like, the
right.
saw
Like
didn't go to
right.
the
it's
head.
completely undamaged. Like not even the back of it. It was pristine,
Right.
rusty old buckets.
Unless, did we never see the bucket? Maybe it did get cut off. No, because they took the bucket
Yeah,
off his
they
head.
literally had
Yep.
to remove it using like fucking
That
tools and
didn't
shit.
make any
Those
sense
laser
whatsoever.
things.
You have the lasers.
Which don't exist.
No.
So
I'm
those
calling
lasers-
you
I
out.
was kind of wondering that. I'm like, do these exist with modern technology? Do we finally have those sci-fi laser beams that can just cut through anything?
Seems
I'm pretty sure they have stuff like that.
I should have I should have
it's like a
fucking
lightsaber,
known
though.
that when they did the ending sequence with like the fucking like plasma cutter lasers or
Right.
whatever, that when the first guy dies
Mhm.
or whatever, that didn't happen
Which-
because it didn't cut through him. It didn't fucking cut
Right,
through him.
'cause
He just had
you-
blood squirting out. It literally, like the other guy, his head would have gone.
Yeah, I was like, I was expecting this to be a lot more gory. Then it gets up. I'm like, you played me.
Why you do this? You had my trust.
But the guy that the laser actually worked on, he looked like something straight out of.
Fucking Resident Evil.
you're right,
Like,
yeah.
fucking
Oh,
weird,
shit.
like,
When you, like-
flower head, like,
You like shoot the thing once and you're like, oh, I think I killed it, and it just.
yeah,
Comes out at you.
Fucking
I expected him to like half zombie, like be a zombie.
coming out at the guy. Like, oh shit, fucking Vaughn's not dead
This is
yet.
the real challenge.
Yeah. Ooh. It's pretty good.
Just he coughs up like a play me recorder out of his fucking throat or whatever, and then the other guy like presses the play button and it's like Tobin Bell again. He's just like, I'm actually not dead, and I've been planning this for 10 years. I knew you were gonna kill this guy. So I implanted a virus in him that made him a fucking zombie. He's coming for your soul. Okay, so we were talking about this prior.
Billy.
acid.
Yeah. No, not acid. Thank you. Around the same scene. So the puppet comes in, right? And they all are still like on the chain and it's pulling them.
Right.
And the puppet wheels out and it has a little thing on it that says confess. And so they're all like, oh, I did this. And the one guy's like, I'm going to do anything. Like, yeah, exactly, right. You didn't do anything. Okay. Yeah, and they're getting pulled. And if the dude didn't reach over and notice the tape to pull it off, like, they would have just been sent to their fucking death. Like, the challenge wasn't even clear.
I did notice
it seemed
that,
like
yeah.
the puppet just said, confess, that's your challenge. No. They had to pull the fucking thing off the string.
Like, that's just tricking them. Like, not even like Jigsaw cryptic trick. It's just like, by the way, I forgot to mention, here's your actual instructions. Like, he very hastily pasted it on the puppet, like, oh, fuck.
Unreal.
Oh, I don't have time to record another voice clip. Okay.
Make sure you randomly rip off the piece of paper that says confess on the doll just within arm's reach. Or else you're all just fucking dead.
I feel like the traps in general were just, like, really kind of downplayed in the movie. Like, as, like, you know, the only thing I know about previous movies, like, holy fuck, these are some fucked up traps.
Yeah.
And, like, these ones are just, like,
crazy ones.
really mild, like, pretty much. I don't know, like, one trap that the first one was related to is, like, they're all pretty much attached to chains also, but, like, it's all on, like, the same wire, and they all have to, like, they're basically, like, rushing forward, but as one person rushes forward, like, the others are yanked backwards since it's on the same wire, and they're trying to reach, like, a key or something. Like, on the opposite wall, there's a key that'll open the key to their collars, but if the timer runs out, they'll be yanked all the way backwards to, like, this razor that'll chop their head off.
So the right way to do it would be to have one person go at a
Yeah,
time.
they gotta, like, take turns.
If two people are like, I wanna live, and they both give it their all, like, everybody else is fucking dead.
Yeah, but, like, for this one, it's just
If
no
you have
cooperation.
one person come back.
And, like, it's just a no-brainer trap, because it's, like, I mean, I was a little confused. I just knew, like, oh, you need to cut yourself, and, like, I thought maybe they needed to, like, drip the blood on, like, their helmet or whatever.
Yeah,
But no, it's like the
how
blood
did
just,
it sense?
it's just, like, their blood splattered on the opposite wall on the buzzsaws. So I think that's what detected it. So I'm like, that was really simple. And then I started to think these traps are kind of lacking.
Just cut yourself. They're like,
Right.
ooh.
Like this one guy who like stuck his arm parallel to
Multiple people still
buzzsaw.
died.
I'm like, what are you fucking dumb? Just go like this.
Right, but didn't it seem like as soon as they went for a little tap, they got yanked in?
Yeah, like it actually fucking.
I think they actually got yanked a little bit.
Probably. I was thinking about it like as it was happening because I like put myself in the shoes. Like if you're given a choice like that, I feel like it might have been a dumb decision, but I would have like tried to get it like maybe like upper forearm or whatever. Just
Yeah.
I don't know because I don't know. By the whole like meaty part of your arm
Instead of
and
like
shit.
losing fingers.
Yeah, I wouldn't put my finger in there because you lose appendages.
You're gonna need it for the rest of the day. You can't lose it now.
Just the day.
But even like in the trap, he just said, "Here, you need a blood sacrifice, and it doesn't matter how small it is." So that's why I'm just like, "Oh, we'll just get a little tip of your finger or something."
Yeah.
You know, obviously use your less dominant hand in case you do misjudge it and lose a fingertip.
Someone just hawks the biggest fucking loogie, gets a little bit of blood on there, and spits it on the fucking thing. It's like, ooh, good job.
Why didn't people just use their own blood and like somebody who already cut themselves rather than be like, hey dumbass, cut yourself.
Use your like fucking nail and just like try to nick your skin and literally just get such a little bit of it and just be like,
it's like, ooh, good game, Jigsaw.
Nice try. Yeah, nice try. Yeah.
Then like the grain thing, I'm not sure like physics wise how this would work. Like, would you sink like if you stepped into a silo filled with grain? Like, would you literally sink?
I wouldn't
in something
think you
like
would.
Because as it fills up, could you like step onto the grain? Like, just keep going like this as it fills higher and higher.
So, because it's dense, right?
I'm just like, well, do you really sink in something like that?
Like
or am I
sand,
stupid?
right?
While watching that did come to mind.
Like,
but it's like,
how did you sink?
I would think that it would come to a point in which, like, it's just so thick.
It's so packed.
It's
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or it'd be like a
Like,
quicksand.
because
kind of
sand, if sand is loose, I mean, you can get buried in it, but do you necessarily fall through it? No.
No.
I don't know.
I ain't a
like,
scientist.
every time, like, even we brought up, like, when at one point we brought up how, like, the local quarry, like, when it first filled up and they were digging in there and they hit a water spring, I'm just like, how do you drown? Why can't you just keep swimming to the top as it fills up?
I think you guys are right, but like in
Water's
the
weird
movie,
though.
it's like in the movie they were just like they always kept their feet planted, and they were just like, oh, what do we do? As the whatever.
Right, right.
It's not like they were like, ooh, like always trying to stay.
If
They
you
were
high
smart, they
step
were.
it, and
they just kind of let it come
They
up.
could. They could have.
If they were smart, they would do that.
I mean, like,
Or maybe I'm just
literally, you
stupid.
think they're like just sitting there like this the whole time until it reaches here. I'm sure they're like moving around. Maybe not like actually trying to like step up on it, but I think they
Yeah.
were probably like walking around enough that
Like,
they might
that's-
have kept treading on top.
Maybe that's what Jigsaw, like, accounted for, and that's why the weapons started falling. Like, oh, you think you can...
Yeah.
yeah.
You think you're on?
Guess what? You're still gonna get fucked.
They
Like,
ran
think
out
you're
of
smart.
fucking shit at the sawmill, so I just needed
Yeah.
to fucking find something to top you guys off. That also seemed really dumb too, because I felt like the way that the weapons came down, they wouldn't have been like decapitating fucking weapons. Like
Yeah.
they kind of like lazily just like were dropped in through a chute, and for them to like
It was
drop with such
Perfectly.
force, yeah, sharp side down, like. Okay, I don't really buy that.
I feel like you get nicked, but not like fatally injured. I think it
Yeah.
was like as if like some guy was standing at the top of the silo and threw that knife as hard as he could. Then maybe it would have
Yeah.
sank into that guy's shoulder.
Yeah,
but
but it's literally just falling.
it kind of
from
just
not
would have been
even
like,
that
dink,
high.
ow.
I don't know.
Yeah, if
that
a
knife.
buzzsaw like that like dropped on you from that height, like coming down like a chute, it would probably be like a scrape. Like
Yeah, it
fuck.
hurt, but still,
Yeah.
like it wouldn't, it wouldn't like cut your head off.
Instant death.
I sure wouldn't feel good though.
No, it wouldn't.
Ouch. That pitchfork though, that might have had.
Yeah,
enough
that was that
velocity.
weighed a little more.
When they all got flushed out, I kind of had a moment of, oh, come on, because it's not like I wanted them to die, but like how after she got flushed out, she's like, oh, that was close to like the
Yeah,
pitchfork.
Yeah.
If everything was on the surface and they got
Yeah.
flushed out, this stuff would have been like their heads were surrounded by it, and
Mhm.
then they all got.
They would have landed on it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you notice that none of those tools came out when they came dumping
I
out?
didn't.
It's,
No.
it's just the plain old whatever.
Wood
green-
tools.
green-
Because they were fake, except for the knife. The knife was real.
Yeah,
Because it comes like
on their head.
Holograms.
All right, we're gonna dump them out now. Let's get the tools out of there.
yeah,
And action.
has like a
Ooh,
cleanup
where did the
team
tools
on.
go?
Yeah. You knew Amanda was gonna be one of the last ones alive. She was too like down to
Oh,
earth,
yeah.
and she was the one that was like the most level headed. You're like,
Right.
she gets how it works. Like
Yeah.
she's gonna be one of the last ones. I thought she was gonna survive until they revealed that like she actually was the reason why her child fucking
Yeah.
died.
Right.
Like yeah, okay, you're dead.
Well, and I think she was set up for failure though too, because the other guy couldn't like stand up right away.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
Yeah,
easy
our
game
guns.
for me. I'm just gonna pick up this gun and blast this guy's head off.
Whoa.
I thought it was a little unrealistic for the guy who didn't have the leg to just like as she was like aiming the gun at him, he's like, "Wait, reverse. It's gonna shoot you.
Yeah,
Don't
he-
shoot it." Like, really? What context clue made you immediately think?
Did he say
Like,
something?
well,
like that?
Yeah,
He
yeah,
wasn't
he
like
did.
the brightest
Right.
one either, like
Yeah,
at any point.
He was just some
Yeah.
stupid fat piece of shit. And he's just like, "It's all clear. You're good to die."
Just woke.
No, but like his context clue, which he quoted the exact
Yeah.
words, and I wish I could remember them now. But like
Yeah.
basically, Jigsaw
Something
before he
about
left
reverse.
before he left the room, yeah, he said something to the effect of, oh, I gotta remember what it is.
He like stares at the guy. It's opposite day.
I winks at him.
Big
Yeah.
wink.
Don't
It's
shoot her
secretly-
with that gun.
I want you to win, so.
what a fucking shitty thing to be dragged into Jigsaw's game when all you did was make a mistake of switching up two people's fucking names on sheets.
Was
He
it
didn't
an
even
honest
do-
mistake?
That's what everyone was playing it off as. Like, I was lazy, I was
Yeah.
clumsy, I'm sorry. But, like,
But
and Jigsaw saved him, too.
Yeah.
But still, like, Jigsaw's like, that was personal. That was personal. If that happened to somebody else, there's no way in fuck he would have, like, chained them up for the game. It's because they fucking wronged him. I felt like he kind of went off. Like,
Yeah.
that was biased.
I am shook. Wasn't the dude who mixed up the X-rays? Wasn't that the dude who was like, I speak for the dead?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and he was part of the game 10 years ago. He was the guy who was, like, fucking drunk
Okay.
as sleep
Okay.
until the very end.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Jigsaw is like, okay, yeah, I'm probably overreacted on this guy. And he, like, came in to like, save him.
It's like shit.
I realized that maybe this is not worth dying over.
Refund.
Okay, like was that his daughter? Like the guy who spoke for the dead? Was that his daughter? Like the nurse? Or what
No.
relation did? Or is she just a coworker?
Yeah, she
Okay,
was
so in regards to the
A
coworker and
good-looking
her
coworker.
like weird hobby with Jigsaw, like I could kind of understand if somebody's like morbid curiosity led them to like deep web Tor sites or something to like look up Jigsaw stuff, but like like you're really fucking asking for trouble if you're just like, hey, look at this warehouse stuff. And like you're already a suspect. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, time to go to my secret Jigsaw warehouse.
Yeah,
like,
she was a
hobbies.
little fucked up.
Hobbies.
Like, it's a little hot, but it was pretty fucked up. So, like, just don't be stupid, okay?
I was pumped as soon as they got into that elevator. I'm like, ooh, it started going up. I'm like, is that the elevator? Because that was in previous movies. But
Sure.
Like that's Jigsaw's
Yeah.
studio or whatever, where he makes all of his.
Okay, so that's his place, and she didn't bring that all together.
I don't know.
Because,
Apparently,
like,
yeah, because I've
don't know.
seen the other movies where literally it's like an exact replica. Like, that is the place,
Yeah.
you know?
Because didn't she mention that grinder thing, that replica that she
Yeah,
had
she
there?
built
She's
it.
like,
Yeah,
she-
that's okay. That's
she
fucking-
constructed it.
Like,
Fangirl.
Then they found the real one. They're like, oh,
But they always knew where Jigsaw's studio was, right? Ever since, like, the second or third movie. Like, they
Yeah.
found the studio.
It's like
so
everybody.
It's
It's like everybody stopped giving a shit, and she was like, "Oh, woo, wowee," and she just started like sneaking in. or
so like the police
Unless she
didn't
bought it.
bother
gotta, or
like
just made it
breaking it
a
down.
replica in a separate building. What?
The police just didn't bother like breaking it down or like just getting rid of the evidence or like getting rid of the place completely. They just left it to be pillaged by like anybody who knew of the location, like crazy fans like her.
did the police know about it? Because they sure
Yeah.
seem surprised in this movie. Like, oh,
Yeah, they sound.
What is
this is where this is happening. She's the one.
Yeah, they had people go in there in previous movies, rated it.
Okay.
I'm kind of upset that the famous reverse bear trap never made it into the movie. Like, it was there, but it wasn't like
Oh, the
put
mouth
on
thing?
somebody.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
felt like that's like in all the Saw movies I've watched, literally it's in like every single fucking one.
Yeah.
Like, that's like the trap.
It's like a symbol. Of the
And
series.
even in the Snapchat filter, like it was
it's
the
the-
bear trap. Like,
Right. The
like, ooh,
reverse
who's
bear
ready for Jigsaw?
Right.
Like-
Oh man, I can't wait to see the reverse bear trap in the brand new movie.
Like I really
Psych.
appreciated it how like they went further back than any Saw movie, and it's like Jigsaw in an old-fashioned workshop in like an Iron Man's apron,
Just
like
making
shit.
first making the absolute first prototype of the bear trap. I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like
He's just
working
like a
together with
little
this very first guy.
in Santa's
Jigsaw
workshop.
Origins.
That I honestly I don't know why I thought this, but I thought it was gonna be like a prequel film. Why don't they make something like that? Like, why don't they make like how Jigsaw like
This is like
got started with like his first games? Unless that's been a thing, because I haven't seen every Saw movie, but like I've seen probably like half.
Because we don't know why he does it, right?
It's yeah, we do technically. He explains it in the other films. It's like
He had terminal illness, and then his wife divorced him, and was like, well,
Well, I understand
it's
that,
like
but
he
why?
lost he lost everything, and then he was in like a car crash, right? Like an almost fatal car crash, and he like pulled like something out of his fucking like stomach just to stay alive, and it made him like
survival instinct. That's what it's all about.
Survival instinct. It's like he feels like people don't like appreciate the life they're given, so he puts them in these traps to make them think, if you want to die, go fucking die.
Yeah.
But if you want to live, if your instinct is there, you'll fight like I did to survive.
So that's
but
why
he does it with
yeah.
people who are like shitty people
That's
who
why he
like
chooses
deserve to die.
criminals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wants people to have the same spiritual experience he had.
So does that mean he was like a criminal at one time, and after that he felt like he was like clean and
I
like
don't think
felt
Jigsaw
like
ever
was
was
righteous?
He was just a nice dude.
He's a
Yeah,
nice
he's a nice
dude.
dude.
I
He's a
mean,
nice
he doesn't technically kill
If
anyone.
you're not a criminal and
Yeah.
you're not a shitty person, Jigsaw's probably like your best friend. He's just like, "What's up, dude?
I
That
forgot.
crazy kid fucking
Stop
up my
down at the
neighbors.
bar and I
I'll
gotta
put
do
a bear trap on you if you want to go to Olive Garden." Want to go to Olive Garden?
It's one of the first movies, whichever one has Amanda, but he says multiple times, like, I despise serial killers. Like, oh, how could you just take life and kill people? It's like, I'm not a serial killer.
It's like, I'm not a killer.
I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like people can argue. I'd almost argue for him. Like, he's not a killer, but I can definitely see everybody's like, he's a fucking serial
The
killer.
case can be made, because he puts them in positions where there's a high chance of them being, like, ripped in
It's
half.
like a killer of killers, though.
Yeah,
True.
but sometimes the person's just like a drug junkie or something.
you know, like the one movie I sat
Right,
down
but are
and
the
watched.
traps really as bad if they're like not like actual like killers or
I
anything?
can't remember. Oh yeah, like Amanda, she was just a drug junkie. The one who
Oh,
ended
she
up
got bear
helping
trapped,
him.
though.
Yeah, that she was in the bear trap. So it's like,
Yeah, she got bear trapped though.
you better appreciate your life, or else your head's gonna be ripped in half.
That's true because she
What
could
the
have been at
fuck
risk of
is
taking
that?
her own life though, because there was a dude and it wasn't like part of the main movie or whatever. It was like one of like the second movie maybe that it was like one of like a flashback to like a previous kill that happened. Where it was a dude who literally all he did was like threaten to kill himself and cut himself all the time, and he
yeah.
put him in like the cage of fucking razor wires, and he's just like, yeah, he's pretty much like, let's see if it was just a cry for help or if like, like, do you want to live or do you really just want to die? The choice is yours. There's the exit. Here are the razor wires. He didn't make it up.
He didn't.
He
Spoiler.
didn't make it up. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen fucking like Saw 2, but he's a good guy. I don't know, man. Honestly, like solid rating out of 10, probably give it like a 7. Like it was good, but I wasn't like really impressed with it compared to the other movies that I've seen.
I would agree with you. 7. There was a terror factor. It was certainly there. There was agony.
Gore. Yeah.
There was gore.
agony.
The special effects were pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't see any like slip ups or anything like that. I'm not very well versed on the other movies, but it seems to me like from clips I've seen that this one was a little bit lower in the category of
Right.
torture methods, but I mean at least it had more of a plot to it. We found out more about how, you know, like Jigsaw is in his way, and how this other guy, the nurse, I think was his role.
I don't know what his actual role was.
Cool.
I'm gonna
He
be
was
honest
a
with you.
medical.
for the dead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he
think
was
it-
like a medical examiner.
think
He
it's
was
or
like,
some
yeah.
shit. I don't
But he was
fucking
on
know.
vacation for the whole thing, but he was still like in the office for a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyways, we found out more about like how he came in to be more of an assistant to Jigsaw. And I think that added a dynamic to the movie that you didn't see coming.
Yeah, definitely not him, at least.
Mhm.
The weird thing is with like horror movies, I used to like not. I always liked scary movies, but I would stay away from things like I never would have foreseen myself watching any of the Saw films because I knew how gory they were, and I don't deal the best with really gory things.
Sure.
However, the last time I saw something gory before like recently was probably when I was like a fucking kid, and like it just was just terrifying to me.
Right.
But now I watch this shit and like when I see the gory scenes, like it's not as bad as I was anticipating.
Yeah.
Like I expect to see something like fucking just disgusting. Like I'm gonna fucking throw up. Like that was gross. But it does seem like I can definitely see the like effects that go into it that
yeah.
make it like okay, whatever. You know, like
Nobody-
the guy's fucking head splitting into three. I feel like I don't know. That was pretty. I don't know, unrealistic. I guess. Like
yeah.
it just seemed like something like you said, like out of fucking Resident Evil. Like you just see some
I
guy's
don't
head
quite-
split.
Yeah, now that you say that, I don't quite get how his head was floppy. I mean, there was bone in there.
Yeah, there should have been bone.
His skull should have been like fragmented.
Crunchity.
But anyways, what do you guys think? Out of 10,
Oh,
Dylan and I are sitting decent out of 7.
considering I had a bathroom break throughout it, I feel like I missed like right around like a good climax point, like where things were starting to come together. Like, oh, this lead detective might be involved with this Jigsaw.
But he
murders.
wasn't. So
But like he wasn't. But like
False hope.
I guess I wasn't really rooting for anybody the whole time. Like I thought they were all kind of assholes, and I didn't really connect with any of them. Like I sat through the first and second movie, I think, with you two.
Mhm.
So like I felt actually connected with those people, and I'm like actually scared for them. Like especially in the second movie when like there was just this beefcake guy going around that was really fucked up in the head, like the guy who
Yeah.
threw like the girl in the needle pit when it was his job to do that, and
Oh, right.
like he just wanted everybody to do his work for him. Like I was fucking
Oh.
terrified whenever he was on screen, and then
because
I
he
was
didn't
like,
know what he was gonna do.
yeah, and then there was
He
like
just fucking
the gore factor in other movies too. Like you're talking about how like moments where you had to look away, like whether it was in those movies or in YouTube videos where that I just couldn't sit through. Like there were definitely those moments, and none of those in this movie. So I'd say
Yeah.
maybe 6 out
Yeah.
of 10.
I think you bring up actually inadvertently another good point. In this movie, I don't think there were any phobia fears, like other than the needles that were in,
which is
the
a
second
reused
thing,
concept.
which is a reused concept. But in that movie where it was the needle pit,
Yeah.
like fuck, I don't like needles, so that
Yeah.
to me,
Can I be honest? I actually talked about that scene with my mom, actually, like the night after we watched it.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid of needles, so I was just like, just dive in there and fucking get it.
oh,
Whatever.
God, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Like, I get, like, it's weird because I have a thing about, like, things, like, what needles do as they, like, push something inside me.
Yeah.
Like, that I'm not okay
Foreign
with.
substance.
Yeah, but like if I get like stuck with a needle, like if it's not pushing into me, I don't give a fuck. But that's just me. I don't know. So
Yeah.
it's just I
right.
don't know. Now if it was like a pit full of fucking spiders, I'd be like, fuck that shit. I don't even care.
This shit I'm out.
See, I'd be okay with that. I don't know.
God, it's so fucking
No.
weird.
I
Like
can
nature's
just
demons.
kick the spiders
Nature's
and bat them. If I'm motivated, I'm gonna fight my way through the spiders.
I think it was
But
centipedes.
needles, I would be afraid to like touch any or
Fucking bugs are gross.
Yeah, needles and spiders I could do, but if it was centipedes or something, I would just
Earwigs.
like if I see one centipede, I can't kill it. Like I run to the opposite end of the house. I can't.
I'll tell you what, I'm getting itchy and scratchy and accelerated heart rate from talking needles and spiders, but I'll tell you what, I'm conflicted with if I was to rate it out of 10 because of as far as entertainment goes, it's a good movie. It's a Saw movie from start to finish. But my beef with it, which I didn't really realize until we've been openly talking about it, you never really find yourself in the character's head, like empathy, I think is the word.
Yeah.
Whereas in
sure.
the previous ones, especially when it's like just one person going through their trials, you're not like, oh, what can I do? Like, what would I do? You just kind of watch it. Like, you're from the outside. You're not,
yeah.
you're not like, oh,
Yeah, I felt like that's almost because like this entire movie was like a team fucking like game. Like from start to finish,
It
it
was
was
definitely a
always
team
it
game.
was like your team pushes through and one person was always gonna get picked off in every fucking trap.
Yeah.
But
So like speaking off of your thing where it's like you like you don't have empathy for any of these characters really, but like then that brings me again back to like when I was talking about I don't connect with any of them. Then you got to put yourself in the character's head. But like I never was sat through the movie, but I think it was the third one where I think it was some kind of detective who had to do his work, and then like to find this one driver who killed his son or something.
Yeah,
was that the third one? Because like
the crooked cop guy.
Like at one trap, at one trap he had to save the lawyer who did not condemn the guy who killed his son, but in order to do that, he had to burn this vending machine that had all the memories of his son inside of it. I'm like, oh fuck.
Oh, stuffed animals.
Yeah, like stuffed animals, and that's the only place to get the key. If he burned that all the shit, I'm like, oh fuck. Like that is really powerful.
Less emotion, I think we could all agree on.
Yeah. It seemed just like a modern day scare.
You ever feel like things are always less scary with a group of people?
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
sure.
if you would sit down and watch a horror movie by yourself in the dark, you'll probably freak yourself the fuck out. But if, like, we're all in the dark and we're watching a movie, we're just gonna fucking make fun of it the whole time.
Right,
I feel
right.
like
Yeah.
even that, like, within the movie, with, like, having a bunch of people go through the trials all at the same time, it made it less scary. Like, it wasn't, like, secluding or whatever.
Yeah.
There was always, like, a group of people to add commentary, like the one guy who got his leg cut off when the fucking Billy doll rolls in. He's like, nope, that's not scary at all. Like, I thought this was a Saw movie, not a fucking rom-com. Like, can we stop?
Yeah. Unless one of the guys is that scary beefcake from the second
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Then you don't want to be in a group.
Beefcake from the Saw too.
It's like, can you not be a part of our group?
And the next movie that we'll go see, which
Saw Jig.
I still
Saw Jig.
I still want to see Insidious. It looks
yeah,
spooky
like,
enough.
Oh, definitely.
I sat through the first Insidious, and like I see all these ones coming out, and I kind of want to see them, even though like
You've seen one of them before?
I've seen the first one, and then like I guess I was kind of turned off by it because like the main enemy was like this Darth Maul looking ass demon.
Okay, we need to spend a
It's like, okay,
lightsaber
let's just talk about this for a second.
Darth Maul ass fucker. Nice. I thought he was supposed to be dead. Yeah, I've never seen any of the Insidious movies, but again, that
was
looks
pretty
like
good.
one that's gonna be pretty heavy and you're gonna anticipate like jump scares all the time, and it's gonna get you with jump scares all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said in the beginning of that because that's not the first time I've seen that one, that commercial advertisement, whatever the fuck you want to call it,
Right.
where like the girl's screaming and the thing like locks her like throat and it like reduces her screaming. I thought every time I see it, I think it's a like a commercial like revolving the movies like, please silence your like quiet in the theater or whatever, but they'd only play it like during horror movies because that's the demographic that's going to see it.
Right.
Or whatever. Like, you wouldn't go see fucking My Little Pony the movie and this thing's like fucking yeah.
Locking your vocal cords.
Yeah.
No
Because
talking.
it's not like it's all supernatural because the thing like goes through her
Yeah.
throat, but there's like no blood or anything. It's like it like
Right.
phases through.
And the skin like came back around to it.
Yeah.
It just kind of melted in.
Yeah.
Apart from Darth Maul, it's a pretty good movie. So
Apart from Darth Maul.
I'd be interested in seeing the sequels and the new one coming out.
I want to see all the Conjurings. I haven't seen those yet.
Wait, is
You
that the one with
definitely-
Annabelle?
They're in. It's the same
dig
like
them.
universe or whatever.
The Conjuring is more of a follow-up series to Annabelle.
Oh, okay.
Annabelle is pretty much like the start of the doll, and then the doll makes a reappearance in the Conjuring series.
So, how many movies are this? Is this in
well,
that series?
2 Conjurings, right?
Right.
2 Conjurings, 2 Annabelles. So the whole series is 4 movies.
Does that include Annabelle Creation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Annabelle Creation's the beginning. Then I'm assuming it goes to Annabelle. Then Conjuring 1 and 2.
Yeah. There weren't
Timeline-wise.
There weren't 2 regular Annabelles though, right? It was just the one.
Yeah, it was just the one.
Okay. The Conjuring was good because it's like a stereotypical demon possession movie.
Yeah.
Involving
However, the doll is the catalyst,
the doll. Yeah.
which, I mean, in order for a possession to happen, like, you have to have that catalyst. But I think this series made it more apparent, and it made you something to fear.
Yeah.
Rather than just another demon possession.
Where's the
movie.
spooky
Like,
spirit?
ooh,
It's the doll. Try to touch it.
Yeah, it's that doll. That doll's gonna fuck you up.
Like, I'm wondering if it would have been scarier if, like, you know, the doll is scary looking, but if they used like a actual Raggedy Ann doll, which Annabelle was based off of, or the apparently real Annabelle.
They wouldn't do it. It wouldn't be as scary.
Yeah. No.
They did it. They did it because that would have been way too dumbed down.
Like, just to connect to, like, what Colin said, to, like, connect it to something, like, that is familiar imagery. So, like, when you see a real Raggedy Ann doll, you're like, fuck.
Yeah, right.
I wish. I don't know if you remember this. Did we all see the first one? Right. We all did. We all saw it together, right?
First Annabelle, yeah.
At the end of it, it has like a thing that like showed it in a glass case, and it did like the actual factual like.
Oh yeah.
Annabelle exists, is blessed by a cleric twice a month in like this museum of whatever behind a locked glass case. I think it would have done them justice to actually put like the actual Raggedy Ann doll in there, so they could be like, this is actually what it is, because they're being factual about it, right?
Yeah.
It kind of makes it seem like are they just pulling my leg?
Yeah, right.
Because who fucking makes a doll that fucking creepy? Nobody's gonna buy it ever.
Yeah, no.
Even though I have thought about buying like an actual like replica Annabelle or
Oh,
whatever
yeah.
from like the videos,
Oh, yeah.
but I'm
Please
like, I don't
don't.
know if I could. Yeah, I don't even
Don't
know
do
if
it.
I could do that because it would creep me the fuck
Throw it
out.
in a
It's
rocking
spooky.
chair, and the rocking chair's moving.
Yeah, dolls are
Like
scary
it's a
enough
cool
as it is.
collectible, but yeah, that thing's creepy as fuck. Especially because I'm not like dolls are like, no, dolls are fucking crazy. I hated
It's just a double.
Night of the Living Dummy. Like
Yeah.
that was terrifying.
Even the Goosebumps doll was
Yeah,
like,
Slappy was fucking terrifying.
Which
Dolls are
Slappy, like
terrifying.
the TV show adaptation, or just the book covers?
I've never read the books. I have seen the book covers, so definitely the book covers. The TV adaptation, like the movie, Night of the Living Dummy, scared me. But then when I watched the Goosebumps with fucking Jack Black,
I did not
or
see
whatever,
that.
That one was a funny movie. It's a pretty good movie. I've seen it a couple times.
In the book / thing for Night of the Living Dummy, did the plot involve anything relating to like the dummy taking strength from like the host using it?
I don't.
Or is that from
think
something
so.
else? I think I might have.
It's just
No,
the dummy
it was-
comes to
it's
fucking
just
life
like-
in this kid, right?
Yeah, like
Pretty
pretty
cool.
much. It's just like a really, you know, it's a mild kids book / movie, so like they're not gonna do anything extreme, but like it's just like, hey, if you, he pretty much comes alive and wanders around the house doing shit like, oh, I'll knock this plate over and blame it on you, and be like, oh, you're now my slave, and if you don't be my slave, you're gonna get in trouble for things I do because your parents don't believe you.
It's like
So, real quick, we can come right back to this, but I'm gonna put on the screen a picture of the actual Annabelle doll next to the one portrayed in the movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, if that Raggedy Ann doll was actually the one in the movie, it would be not scary at all.
Not at all.
it might as
And-
well have been Maui.
It could have been just
Maui's
a toy.
out.
Go check out our video, basically Maui. basically Maui, basically Annabelle creation.
Maui.
Yeah, we made an exact replica movie ourselves of Annabelle. the
In case you
Creation.
don't want to buy the movie when it comes out.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
just watch a 10-minute adaptation of
We pretty much sum it up for you.
We got you.
basically. So
I think I can put the link in so it'll be above our heads.
It might be right here. Who knows?
But yeah, that Raggedy Ann doll does not.
I did.
They couldn't base a whole movie around that.
I did, however, my mom works at like a church or whatever. She's like a church secretary, and my sister's kid, who's like probably like 2 or 3, so she's
Yeah.
like an infant, toddler, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We went there like last summer. My mom had work to do. My sister wasn't around, and she's just like, "Go play with fucking Rowan in the kids' room or whatever."
Right. Yeah.
I walk in there on the shelf, no fucking joke, like a Raggedy Ann doll. I'm like, I was super creeped out. I think there was 2 of them actually. There was 2 of them, and it was maybe like, I don't know,
You're like,
a few, maybe like half a year since I saw the film. I was like,
Right.
fuck this. Yeah.
What do you think we can expect from the next Saw movie?
If they make another one, which I'm sure they will, maybe now we'll start getting the movie title line of Jigsaw 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5.
all the way through 8.
8 before they make it fucking like I don't know 100-piece puzzle Saw
I
or
want
something.
I want to believe Saw went to 7, and then this
Bandsaw.
was the 8th
Yeah,
Saw movie.
probably.
In 8 episodes, it's gonna be all.
The next one we're gonna see is
It's his son,
Mr.
Bandsaw.
Man.
Seesaw.
Mr. Man, and he's gonna get caught or he's gonna die, and then in the next movie, the job's gonna be taken by Eleanor. Eleanor's gonna be the next Jigsaw. Let's be honest, Eleanor's coming back. She's gonna be like the Amanda.
Sounds like a
Right.
headcanon.
There you go.
It's like a fucking fact canon, dude. That's not even like that's a fact.
Yeah, because her
Call me on it.
co-worker's gonna get caught, and then by then he'll have taught her everything about like, oh, this is how you
Yeah, she
jigsaw.
already
Now you can be
fucking knows
jigsaw.
this.
This is how you jigsaw.
I know how to
Thanks
jigsaw.
for covering for me, you dumb bitch. This is how you jigsaw.
But she doesn't know because she ran out
Yeah.
early. She doesn't know that he
No,
is
but
actually.
If he tells her, then she's not gonna be mad. She's gonna be like, "Oh, cool!
Yeah,
I
she'll
love
probably-
jigsaw. Teach me how to jigsaw."
That's
yeah,
true.
because
He's
she's like fucking.
on the current
She's like a
Jigsaw.
kink over like Saw shit.
She'll just get fucking.
Yeah, she'll just get moist as fuck. They'll
They'll
probably have like a really half-ass sex scene. They won't show anything because I want to see things.
He'll use weird rusty
Yeah.
devices.
Rusty dill.
Oh!
She'll put his dick in the fucking reverse bear trap. If it gets hard, it pulls the string and it snaps.
So here's the latest Victoria's Secret catalog.
No.
I remember like I hate bringing up Family Guy, but it reminds me of when they're trying to get like Quagmire to like not be perverted, and they've got
Yes.
the fan going over his future dick, and they're like showing him pictures of Victoria's Secret. Old ladies, really old ladies.
Old ladies, old. Saggy.
Saggy, yeah, he's like trying to talk to himself.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we
Yeah, it'll be something like that.
go. So stay
It's like
tuned. I
50
can't wait to
Shades
see
of
it.
Jigsaw. Okay.
50 Shades of Saw.
How romantic. She's tied up and spread eagled.
Which I've heard that one's really creepy too.
Which one?
I'm
Right next
sure.
door.
Yeah, fucking
Yeah.
the high school kid fucking his fucking J-Lo ass.
Milfy motherfucker.
And he makes that
Sure.
really awkward, like, in the preview, he makes that really awkward, like, phrase, and he, like, almost looks directly at the camera, and he goes, "Your mother makes the best cookies," or some
Oh,
shit
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
It's like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah,
mom's
can you
cookies are
fucking
the
not?
best.
Yeah, if I was
Like-
if I was her kid, I'd fucking gut him, like right there. I'd be like, ooh.
At the
how
very
about these
least-
cookies? As you're like cutting out his fucking jugular or something.
Secret ingredients, blood.
I don't see no cookies.
Ooh. All in all, did you give a number?
Yeah, he said like fucking like 6.
I
Six.
think.
Did you say it?
Right, yeah. It's weird because like just as a movie, 7 or 8 because I was like I was entertained. I was staring.
Yeah,
at the
as a
screen.
movie, like 7, 8. As a Saw movie, 6.
Yeah,
Like, gotcha.
So this has basically been a podcast about
Jigsaw.
Seesaw. You got it in my head now. Now I
Yeah.
keep thinking Seesaw. Jigsaw. And we had some other things in there too, but that was basically Jigsaw. I
That was
think you get the
basically
rough
Get
idea
it?
of what it's
Rough
about.
idea, rough idea. Yeah.
So yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, obviously see it. I hope you see it before you see this video.
Please.
But watch
Yeah, that would.
watch this video after you watch the movie, so that way you find the humor funny.
Maybe we should have put that at the beginning of the
Yeah.
video.
When they reach the end of the video, oh, by the way,
We'll just
spoiler alert.
We'll just cut and paste that part to the start.
No. Okay.
No.
So,
Fuck out of here.
Check out our other videos.
we only have one, but.
We only have this one, but no.
So yeah.
Well, take it easy.
Bye.